So at NatureBridge, we really look to provide incredible experiences for young people in the outdoors where they can come together and not only connect themselves to the natural world, but also connect to each other.
Nature is a great teacher. There are real lessons here that allow kids to learn by doing, but never stop being kids.
The Yosemite Institute began in 1971 with a high school teacher who was interested in bringing his students up to Yosemite. He loved Yosemite and felt what a more incredible outdoor classroom could there be than actually engaging his students in the outdoors. And that idea really flourished, not only here in Yosemite, which seems to be the birthplace of really great ideas. It's the birthplace of the national park idea and for outdoor education. In 2011, we became NatureBridge. The whole idea is to bring students from their home communities up to Yosemite to get them outdoors for up to almost a week.
We're at the National Environmental Science Center on Hennis Ridge. We're on the southern part of Yosemite National Park. We've got the first 60 beds that have been built up here with a dining hall and the needed infrastructure to support that.
This campus will actually have a fire station that's outfitted with National Park Service wildland fire personnel, where our students will get to work right alongside these fire science professionals and understand exactly what goes into a prescribed fire and the dynamics of fire.
On a busy year, we have 17,000 students that come through our campus. So if you put 17,000 people on the ground, that's a lot of fuel that they can pick up. And then you GPS the fire pile they make. And then when we light that in the winter, they get a flashback that says, hey, remember when you did this? And if we can reference back to that in a positive way and remind them going forward, that's where the lessons really resonate. The campus is really a portal to what else is out there.
All good educational programs have to change with the way that their students are changing and the way that the world is changing. A big move that we've made is having students understand systems and how the environment is all connected. Every organism, everything is connected to everything else.
45 years ago, if you looked at the catalog at that time, you would see pretty hard science in there. And as the organization has evolved and the client base has changed, we've seen more social and emotional learning components being brought into that, and that can be molded a little bit around where the students are at.
I got to be an 8th grade student coming to NatureBridge. At the time it was called Yosemite Institute, and I still have my journal from that experience, and there are 2 sections from it that capture what I was able to take away from that. I couldn't believe that people tried to kill the coyotes. I wonder if they knew about interdependence like we now do, and the food chain and stuff like that. I found it really interesting, and it made me think that anything could be interesting if you knew enough about it.
We welcome students from all walks of life and of all identities to make sure that they have the same and equitable experiences in an educational setting here.
It's a really awesome thing to be able to introduce students to natural environments and studying science in a way that I wish I had when I was in middle school. I'm from just north of Miami. About 90% of everything around me in that environment is concrete.
We want our students to come here and connect to this place. We want them to connect to each other, and we want them to connect to themselves in a deeper way. And a big part of that is, learning where the students are coming from, what they need the most out of this experience, and tailoring the experience to the student groups and the schools themselves.
So I came to Yosemite Institute as a high school student with my class. If you've ever had a moment in your life where you felt this seismic shift, that was it for me. To be in the presence of Half Dome and Yosemite Falls and El Capitan. And I remember asking my educator as I was contemplating my future beyond high school, how do you get this job? Because this is pretty incredible what you do.
Something that sticks out to me from my time as an educator was a moment we had a group of high schooler students, and they were up here to go backpacking. A lot of them had never been to Yosemite or a place like Yosemite before, and they took the deepest dive to hike up one of the steepest trails in Yosemite, going up to the top of Nevada Falls. Tears were shed and challenges were overcome, bodies were pushed, and we got up to the top of the waterfall, and everyone was totally exhausted. And we were standing up there on the edge of this waterfall that just tumbled down 700 feet to the valley below, and looked out over what we had just climbed up. And it was a moment of rejuvenation, and it was a moment of understanding that we had really done something together in this beautiful place. And at that point, we just sat down and quietly reflected by the side of the river on like who we are, who we wanted to be, and how we can help each other get to that place.
My educator asked us to write what we learned about living and learning in a group. And I wrote one sentence response: I learned that everyone needs each other.